Hey, what's up, pro wrestling fans? Welcome to Nation's Corner. I am Front Row. With me, as always, is Debhausen the Great and Powerful. And from the West Coast, live, HiJacker Mike. What's up, people?
What is happening?
What up? What up?
Man, we've got an exciting night tonight. I know we're doing a special recording tonight, off cycle for us. We've got a very special guest tonight. Viva Van's going to be joining us in just a minute. But I'm going to check with you guys and see how your week's been going. Deb, you had an eventful week.
Well, today was the last day at my current job, so I'm super excited about that. I start a new job on the 28th, so I have a nice little vacation for the next week and a half.
Nice. And HiJacker, you're not in your normal background. Where are you tonight?
Tonight I'm coming live with y'all from Aloni Cigar Lounge where I work, and I'm gonna be smoking cigars with the folks here while I'm working in a little bit. Once we finish up this interview with Viva Van, and it's been an exciting week because I hit 45 the other day. So
Yeah,
let's
happy
roll.
Woo!
Nice. Well, let's not wait any longer.
All
We'd
right.
like to welcome to our show. She is the current NTLL Women's Champion, the AWF Women's Champion, the PCW Ultra Woman Champion, and BTW Women's Champion. Let's welcome to the show Viva Van. Viva, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. We appreciate you joining us tonight. I think when last we spoke, we were in Buda in a rainstorm. And they're like,
Oh, yeah.
we have a ton of stuff to talk about, but I did want to talk a little bit about that night because that was a crazy show back in Buda at Locked and Loaded for Mission Pro Wrestling. So I just want to kind of get your feelings about that night and like all the craziness that was surrounding that event.
So I think I was scheduled to wrestle Roxy that night, and that didn't end up happening. And but I did get to wrestle Vipers and Masha, which we ended up having a great triple threat. The crowd loved it, and it was fun. It was very last minute, but you know what? I ride with everything, so it was all good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and we've grown fond of the Mission Pro crowds. They were lively, they were loud. It sounded like there were 3 times the amount of people. And of course, Dave LaGreca got beat up, so that was a good night.
That's always good.
That was fun to watch.
Poor Dave.
Poor Dave. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I know that you've done some interviews, so we're not going to cover all the stuff that everybody talks about. I want to hit on some of the basics, but I want to get your feelings on. We're sponsors of Mission Pro Wrestling, so we're very closely attached to the women's wrestling movement and all the stuff that's going on throughout the industry. We're paying close attention and excited about a lot of it. We're seeing in all the big companies all these great things, women main eventing all the time. It's not even a thing anymore. That just happens, which is terrific. But I know that you've had some experiences in the bigger companies. I was curious what your thoughts were on where we are and sort of where we've come from. And, do you think we're headed in the right direction overall?
Yes, I do think we're headed in the right direction. I think now not just big companies, but also indie shows should have more than one women's match per show. You know what I mean? Like I still feel like there's a lot of promotions out there that only do one women's match a card. So that we're still making progress. At least we have a match now, right? We have a spot now, and then we're also main eventing, like you mentioned. That's the next step in women's wrestling.
Yeah, and we're seeing exciting matchups like in GCW at the Hammerstein. We saw, Thunder Rosa and Lufisto in the pre-show battle royal. We saw Allie Catch and Ruby Soho, excuse me, have an incredible technical match, and that crowd was behind every moment of those matches, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah.
So I want you to just take us back a little bit. So you're a West Coast person, yes?
Yeah.
Cool.
LA.
HiJacker is on the West Coast there. So you've been in the business about 4 years, and I was interested to know, like, were you a big fan as a kid, or did you come into it sort of closer to your college years?
I was always a big fan of it, but I didn't start till I was in college.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so As far as your training goes with KnokX Pro with Rikishi, how did you come in contact with them?
With Rikishi, I got invited. He had followed me on IG one day, and then he messaged me if I was interested in stopping by, and I said, of course. Well, when Rikishi asked you to stop by, you stop by. So I gave it a shot, and I love it, and I've been there for quite some time now.
That's awesome. So some of the trainers there, and you've been there for a while now, and have they been able to open some doors for you and get opportunities in other companies?
I don't really use my trainers as like a way to get bookings because I had already been working before I started training at KnokX Pro, and so it's that doesn't work for me. Every promotion that I've been on, I've got on myself. Rikishi does look out for me in ways like, oh, I got this meet and greet, you should come by and make some extra money for you. Like, he looks out for me in ways like that where I can make extra cash. But when it comes to my booking and my matches, I get that on my own.
That's very cool. So as I mentioned, we're sponsors of Mission Pro and close with Brian and Thunder and Melanie and all the folks over there. And we've seen some incredible talents come through there on their way to bigger things, contracts with the major companies. And we've seen you there a few times as well. In fact, this last month at Crazy Train, when you tagged with Kelsey Reagan, against the Renegade twins, I told Brian and Thunder that was my favorite match on the card. You guys had this knockdown, drag out battle that I think everybody in the room was just blown away with. Going into the match. Well, going into the match, the Renegade twins are dominant, right? But you guys made it a real fight, and there were some moments in that match where I really did not think they were going to retain. So what was that night for you guys like, and being in the ring with the Renegade twins?
I'm sorry, what was your question? You cut out a little bit.
Sorry, what was that night like for you, being in the ring with the Renegade twins and the reception of that match from the crowd?
The Renegade twins they've grown so much in such a short time, and I could see them going really far in their career. So just to be in the ring with them, it was an honor and a lot of fun. And they're tough girls, okay? And I think they're really young too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very.
How old are they? Do you know how
20,
old they?
you think?
21.
Either 20 or
they're
21, yeah.
Yeah, so they got so much going on for them, and I think they're tough competitors for sure.
So how did you come in contact with Mission Pro? Was it directly through Mission Pro or through Thunder first?
I think it was through Thunder. Yeah.
Okay, and you guys had worked together before, right?
Yeah, we had a match on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, I think in 2019.
Mhm.
Something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Great match. I watched it earlier again.
Oh, thank you. Now I wish I can redo that match because I don't wrestle like that anymore. I've grown a lot since then.
Yeah, you both have. I would definitely want to see that run back.
Definitely Thunder has like changed up her game too. So we both have changed a lot and have grown so much. So I would love to revisit a match with Thunder.
Well, and that makes me think too, because like your style's evolved to the point where you have a very hard-hitting physical style now. And as does Thunder and other people, other women in Mission Pro come through, and like Holiday says, bangers only, and that is the style that Mission Pro has become known for. Are you seeing more of an influence in that harder hitting style, in women's wrestling, throughout the industry?
I can't really say that. I still feel like there's so many different wrestlers out there. You can't just say that there's only hard hitting style wrestling. What I do feel like overall is that I don't know if it's just me, but I do feel like a lot of people are doing more high flying stuff. Like that's what's over right now, and that's over the psychology part. like people don't really like people like both. They like the psychology and then they like the high flying stuff. But I feel like it's starting to lean more towards in that direction, and that's the direction that wrestling is going into. So I can't just say that people are doing hard style hitting. I mean, I like that. When I trained with Rikishi, I was doing before I started training with Rikishi, I was doing lucha stuff that didn't make any sense. Like, well, they made sense to a point, but it's stuff that didn't make sense for me. And I realized that he told me just work on what you're comfortable with. You know, less is more. Work smarter, not harder. So that really like clicked to me. Oh wait, I don't have to like do all the high flying stuff to fit in. I can just be myself and do what I know that works for me. But kudos to everyone that can do all that high flying stuff. I wish I could.
Yeah, I can't either.
No way. No.
No. But it's funny you say that because, you know, Billy Gunn was on Busted Open this week, and he was talking about the infusion of the importance of psychology being taught to the younger students and the younger wrestlers behind the scenes. And we're hearing it from people like him and Dustin Rhodes and other veterans who have been around forever, you know, working a slower style or at least taking out stuff that doesn't make sense. And as fans, we kind of just watch and go, that was exciting. That was fun. But like, I don't have to worry about my body for the next 10 years and having a career.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear you talk about the psychology. Is that something that you're seeing more of or less of on the larger stage, like at WWE and AEW?
I feel like there is still psychology to a certain extent, but I feel like since the newer generation of wrestlers, kind of moving in the opposite way, which is we keep sticking to the old school mentality way of keeping the psychology, or do we just keep going with the new generation and keep doing that? There's like a push and pull between those two, and in my opinion, I like to stick to psychology. I like to just do what I feel makes sense for me, but I'm also not against what the new generation is doing as well.
Yeah, and so I rewatched your match with Ruby Raze this morning, and I had seen it at the time. But that storytelling, even within the confines of the match, you know, the larger opponent, the story that you told of overcoming an opponent with more power and size was really cool. It wasn't as complicated as the high flying stuff that you're talking about, but it was so invested. The crowd in the room was so invested that when you got that quick roll up, it was, you know, it was just really cool. It was a really cool piece of storytelling. It was nice to see. And of course, you still hold that title. So
yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Deb?
So I had switching gears a little bit here into some non-wrestling stuff. I read that you are very into makeup and cosmetics and have used your college degree in marketing to create your own cosmetics company. So tell us a little bit about that.
So my cosmetic company, I started it a little over a year ago. It's gonna hit 2 years in August, I believe, this year. But I started that because I had graduated around the middle of or the beginning of the pandemic, where nothing was open, no wrestling was going on, and so I had to find a way to make money.
Right.
I was like, I'm fresh out of school. I still have all the stuff in my head. Why not just put it to work? And that's how I created it.
Okay. What made you become interested in makeup? For me, like I love doing my makeup and I like matching my makeup to whatever wrestling t-shirt I'm wearing every day. And for me, it's a creative outlet. I like painting, and I was a custom framing designer for 10 years. And so that was a way to express my creativity. And since I stopped doing that, I've gotten more into makeup as a way to express my creativity. So what was it for you that got you interested in it?
So I've always loved makeup as well. I think I started playing with makeup since junior high.
Okay.
So I've always been obsessed with it. And also, like you, I would use makeup to express myself. I did some crazy things with my eyes. I remember when I was like senior in high school. The eye makeup that I would do every day, and people would be like, "It doesn't match your outfit. Why do you keep doing it every day?" I would do rainbow eyeshadow all the time.
Oh, okay.
And people are like, "It doesn't match your outfit. Why do you keep doing that?" And I didn't care because I loved it.
Right.
And then also, like, when I got older and Sephora was a huge thing, MAC, all of that, Ulta Beauty. And then Kat Von D's makeup line too, I really loved when it first came out. And
Right.
and so I just have always loved that outside of being a fan of wrestling. So that's something that's a part of me. I love makeup. I
Okay.
wear makeup all the time. I'm wearing Hell Bent Glam right now, the eyeshadow.
Nice.
So I just felt like if I wasn't doing wrestling and if I were to start a brand, what would I want to do? And it was makeup.
Okay. So you started this company during the pandemic, probably one of the most difficult times ever to try to start a company.
Yeah.
So other than the whole mess of the pandemic, what's been the biggest challenge for you building your company, and what did you learn from it in the process?
The biggest challenge would probably be doing, okay, I probably did this to myself, but I literally do everything in my company.
Okay.
I do all the posting, the creatives, all the ideas are all mine. The designs are all mine. So I think I made it harder for myself not having anyone else on board with me, but I'm also barely starting out. I can't really
Right.
pay someone else yet. You know what I mean? Hopefully one day I can get to that point. So that's the challenge, is that just doing everything and learning everything on my own.
Okay.
Different when you learn it in school and when you actually do it, because when like mistakes or errors comes up, I don't think they teach you that in school, how to deal with that.
Absolutely. All right, thank you. And one more thing, just a silly little question. I like to try to ask people some questions to kind of get to know their personality a little bit more. So one thing is, when you were a kid, did you have any posters on your wall? And if so, what were they?
When I was a kid, I did have posters on my wall. This was before I got into metal, okay? So I don't want people to judge me. So I pretty much, I don't know if you guys remember those J14 magazines, or there was like these magazines that they had. I forgot the rest of their names, but it was just like current celebrities that were famous, like Hillary
like
Duff and all that.
The teen magazines.
The teen magazines, yes.
Yeah.
I would just put those up.
Okay.
And it didn't matter if I liked them or not. I just was like, you're a celebrity, I'm gonna put them up. It was a little weird thing I did as a kid.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, I will hand it over to HiJacker if his connection is good enough and he has some questions for you.
Should be. Hey, Viva, how you doing?
Hey, doing good, thank you.
It's been a minute since we last seen each other at BTW Rock the Bells. You know, we had an unfortunate situation that happened. I'll get into that with you soon. Are you guys getting an echo from me, or are we good?
No, you're good.
No, you're good.
Okay. I want to see that you are the 2021 SoCal NorCal Women's Wrestler of the Year, correct?
Yes.
How did that become? When did you hear about that?
Well, I think they announced it pretty much. I think SoCal announced it first, and then NorCal announced the following day. And I saw myself being nominated, and I didn't want to I didn't really push it till towards the end, because I just didn't want to be upset if I didn't get it. You know, it kind of gets to you mentally, and I didn't want that to devalue me or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like competitions like that, or putting myself against my friends. Like, a lot of those girls, I know them, and I don't like to be put up against them. I just feel like we're all great in our own way. But how that came about, I just busted my ass. I just worked as hard as I could. And during the pandemic, that really hurt me, you know, because I had to drop 30-something bookings. And then to get back, it was hard to get back. It was really extremely hard to get back. And once I started getting it rolling, I just started winning titles everywhere. And I think me winning titles helped me get that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So you went to Cal State Fullerton, correct?
Yes.
And how was that, juggling that and going to KnokX Pro at the same time?
When I was at Cal State Fullerton, I haven't started KnokX Pro yet.
Okay.
But I was training at the same time, and it was really difficult. I didn't sleep much. I was stressed out all the time. So I would wake up, go to class, then go to training, and then like work out at the gym. And then I had to work and then do it all over again the next day. So I was always constantly nonstop, like no sleep, running on caffeine. I think I would break out like crazy too in college because the stress was insane. So I'm very happy that I'm done with it. I love Cal State Fullerton, but bye.
I feel you on that one. When I was in college, I was just ready for it to be over.
Yeah. And it felt like forever, right? The 4
Yes.
years felt like forever.
Yes, it did.
Definitely. Okay. So as we move forward, actually we're going to move back real quick.
We're losing hijacker.
Yeah, hijacker, you sound like a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you try reconnecting hijacker? I'm gonna let you reconnect there.
That's funny. I thought
Dr.
of him
Robotnik.
sounding like he was underwater.
Right.
Like Pinocchio, you know, when he's walking underwater and trying to talk at the same time.
How's that? Is that any better?
No,
Oh,
it's
no, same.
Same.
Aw.
That's okay. I have another quick questions for you. One of the things that we talked about, within women's wrestling, within wrestling in general, and I know this has been a focal point of Thunder in a lot of the conversations we've had with her and in interviews, is representation, women of color, whether that's all across the board, and the way that the wrestling industry has presented them. And I feel like there's a lot of progress there, but there's also a lot of work to be done. Are you starting to see progress in that area? How's your general feeling on that?
There is progress in that area, but it's very slow. It's getting better though. What I will say from my own personal experience is that both of the big companies, WWE and AEW, they don't have that many Southeast Asian representation. It's either Japanese women or at WWE they have like 2 Chinese women there, and that's 2,
Right.
that's not a lot. And so what I would love to see in the future is if we have Vietnamese, Thai, Cambodian, or Lao, or Filipino. That would make a difference if we had more Southeast Asian wrestlers in either company.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a fine line with presenting any competitor where you don't want to go into stereotypes, but you also want to let folks honor their culture, right? So, do you feel like it's important for the performer or the wrestler to be able to have input into how they're presented on screen?
I think it is very important to let them be able to express how they want to be expressed, because that's when it's authentic and that's when they're the most confident, because if you put something on someone else and they don't feel that, how can they get anyone else behind them if it's not real? You have to just be you. And also the whole stereotype thing, I agree with you on that. Like, yeah, I'm Vietnamese, but I'm not showing that when I'm wrestling. When I'm wrestling, I'm just a wrestler,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to show that. And I still honor my culture still. I still post about it whenever there's something to post about. And I try to represent like VPW in Vietnam, the only wrestling school out there. And it's just important to like just let people be them and let them express themselves how they want to be expressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, like when I see ninjas running around on TV, I'm a fan of Japanese culture. I've been to Japan. It drives me insane. But then when I see Hikaru Shida representing her culture You can see the way that she moves, that she knows how to handle a sword. Like all that stuff rings true with me as a fan. I connect with her because I feel like it's authentic.
Yeah, that is true. No, it's
Oh, we have
definitely
HiJacker.
very authentic with her, how she presents herself.
Do we have you back, HiJacker?
Oh no.
Yeah, can you guys?
Maybe
Oh
not.
no, he's frozen. Yep, we got you.
We can hear you, but
got
you're
me?
frozen.
Can you hear me? Okay, it's probably
We
my
can hear
connection
you,
here
yeah.
right now. Okay, well, you guys want me to continue with a couple of questions I have and go from there?
Yeah, if you can.
Okay. All right, Viva, sorry about that bad connection and whatnot. But I want to go
It's
back
all
to,
good.
all good. I want to go back to BTW, your very
Okay.
first night in the house. You know, I'm part of the security team, so I met you there and got to know you a little bit there during your couple of matches you've had in BTW. But I want to go back to 8/10/2021 for the Women's Championship versus Christina Von Eerie. Do you remember the reception you got when you were coming out to the ring? It was live. You and Christina put on a show when you won the BTW Women's Championship. You guys pretty much tore the house down. How does it feel to come in for the first time into a promotion and come in and just take names, kick ass, and just grab the belt off top?
It feels really good. It feels amazing that pretty much the BTW crowd, they accepted me right away, and that's a great feeling. And to hear them like stay alive throughout the whole entire match just shows me and proves to me that me and Christina Von Eerie, we put up a hell of a fight. Like we went to war, and we proved
Yes,
that
you did.
we were both capable of winning. But I ended up taking it. So it's just you know, we want to show people that like as women, we're here. We can wrestle just as good as the guys, okay? So and we definitely need more than one women's match per show. Like it just needs to start going that direction.
Definitely, yeah, because Bailey, aka Davina Rose, used to be in BTW a little over 10 years ago. So she's roaming the playground you currently roam. So you got some good competition that have come up in the ranks. And yes, you are right. We do need some more women's wrestling in BTW. We only have a few superstars at the moment. But this takes me back to the unfortunately timely passing of BTW owner Kirk White, which shocked us all back in December when he passed away on Christmas Eve of all days. Where were you when you heard the news of this unfortunate situation with Kurt that happened?
I was at home. And I received the message, I think Christmas Day. And I was in denial at first. Like it didn't feel real at first, because no, it wasn't announced or anything. It was privately messaged to me, and that's all I can say is that I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say, and it's a hard thing to accept because I just spoke to him not too long before that, and he seems like he's healthy, he's fine. Like nothing like that was gonna happen anytime soon. He had so much life in him, So that was really hard to accept. And then when they started announcing it, that's when it really hit.
Yeah. Tell me the man you knew. I've known Kurt for almost 20 years going to BTW shows. I've been working for him since 2014. Tell me one of your favorite stories that you have of him. I know every time you came in, he'd always say, "Hey, there's my champ, there's my champ." But tell me a funny story or something that will always live in your heart about Kurt.
I've known him for such a short time, but I've made so many memories with him in such that short time. It's crazy. He always made me feel like I belonged, and that like if I've known him forever. And I think my favorite memory of him was when he texted me that I was getting picked up in a limo my first time out there. And I thought he was just ribbing me. I was like, there's no way, there's no limo. And I walked out there, and sure enough, there was a limo waiting for me. So that was my favorite memory because I thought he was just making fun of me because I'm new. I'm new to BTW. He's just making a joke out of everything. And that's my favorite memory.
Now, who was your driver in that limo? Do you remember?
I do remember, but his name is like not getting to
Bullshit,
my
Phil.
Yes, Phil. Yeah.
Yeah, cool dude.
He almost crashed too the first time I was in the limo. I flew like from one side to the limo to the other side because he like stepped on the brake so hard, but it wasn't his fault though. Someone cut him off.
Yeah.
But like people don't realize when you cut off a limo, the person in the back is flying. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. No, but I'm glad you had a chance to experience BTW. I'm glad you had a chance to experience Kurt before we lost him. But also, I have my last question for you. Being in the wrestling business for the last almost 5 years, what are some of your favorite talents you've stepped in the ring with?
I have a lot of favorites. So if I forget to name anyone, please don't get mad at me. But some of my favorites would be Sumi Sakai. I loved working with Allie Catch. I think Maserati, always a hell of a competitor with her. She's great. And it's slipping my mind right now. See, so those are the three that popped up in my head. So I'm gonna stick to that for now.
Yeah. Well, no, because I know you've been in the ring with Thunder, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's another one. See, I don't mean to not mention her, okay?
No,
it's just like when I get asked
good.
this question, I go blank. I don't know why.
It's all good. Taya Valkyrie.
I haven't wrestled her yet.
You were tag team with her though, correct?
Yes, I was tag team with her.
Okay. As also with Shotzi Blackheart.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you for the time. I hope to see you. Do you know if you've been booked for the March tribute show here for BTW yet?
I haven't heard anything from BTW. I don't know who I'm supposed to talk to because I would only talk to Kirk. So if you know who else I should be contacting, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I'll find out and I'll get back to you and let you know. But you know what? I want to thank you personally myself. It's a pleasure talking with you once again. I'll give it back to front row.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, HiJacker. But yeah, so you mentioned Allie Catch, and we've seen her emerge from the pandemic, rebranded, reborn. She shed that whole other persona, and she's just kicking ass everywhere she goes. And GCW, and your match with her at PCW is one I highly recommend folks go and watch if you haven't seen it.
Actually, on Defy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was for the PCW title, but on Defy on demand.
My apologies. I saw the PCW title.
No, it could be confusing. I get it.
But I mean, you guys tear the house down. And again, go back on Title Match Network and watch Crazy Train, your tag match against the Renegade Twins, because my God,
it's already up.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's on
I haven't
there.
seen it yet.
Oh, it's on there. But I highly recommend folks go and watch that. And I really hope to see you back in a Mission Pro ring soon, and obviously back in BTW. But I can't thank you enough for your time tonight. I was going to ask you about road stories, but your limo story took the cake. So you can't top that.
Yeah.
So where can folks find you on the socials, and what do you have coming up?
Everyone can find me on, I have IG, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter at Hell Bent Vixen.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Viva.
Well, she was awesome.
Yes.
And I said it before, like, we've seen her twice in Mission Pro. HiJacker's seen her just have some incredible battles all across the indies. And I didn't even get a chance to talk to her about her AEW experience, but she's spoken about that in other interviews. So hope to see her back in AEW as well. Anything else before we wrap up, guys?
No, let's celebrate HiJacker's birthday tonight and my last day of work at Hell.
Yes. I got my shipment of cigars in today. We're good to go.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
I got a ton of cigars around me tonight at the lounge.
Yes, nice.
All right, guys.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you again next time.